Generally, we estimate the parameters for probabilistic models using some set of trusted examples. We call them as training sets. And as long as these training sets are not biased, as long as they are fair, frequencies can be used as a reasonable estimate for the underlying probabilities. So what we can do here is, for example, we can have a database where we can have different occurrences of some amino acid A, and the probability of that amino acid A is given by Q of A. So we can get the idea or the estimate of that probability while counting over the frequencies of that amino acid in that particular database. So using frequencies of amino acids or nucleotides, whatever the situation is, as probabilities, that maximizes the total probability of all sequences. So that kind of approach is called as the likelihood approach. Here is the formal definition of MLE. So objective here is to infer the parameters, and these parameters are coming actually from for a set of parameters from a model M, and the data set is D. And strategy we are using is we are actually want to maximize the probability for estimation of these parameters for all values or for all of the parameters which are present in this model. And this strategy is called as maximum likelihood estimate, or MLE, which is given by this equation. How can we compare this maximum likelihood estimate versus probabilities? So probability is, if we look into this equation here in this relation, we have P of x while y. So if it is treated as a function of x, this thing is probability. In case of likelihood, it is treated as the function of y. These maximum likelihood estimates have an issue which we call it as overfitting. So overfitting is that it gets, it gets biased as far as the training data is concerned. So using observed frequencies as a measure of probabilities, that has this issue of overfitting. How we can elaborate this with this example. So for example, we have a coin and we are flipping, and we are using just 3 flips, so we get 3 tails, and that's it. So we are using this data in order to make a hypothesis. So what we do here is we get these probabilities. So we see that probability of head in this case is 0. We don't see any head in this case, and all the 3 events we see tails. So here the probability of tails is 1. So can we say that these probabilities are correct? Obviously no. So in this case, our prior knowledge that might help, since we know that head and tail are each half, their probability is half for both of them. So we can then doubt on this data, and we can suspect that maybe our sample size is small. Maybe we are just looking into these 3 events. So this happens when you are having those training data sets which are small, and sometimes you can have the issue of this overfitting. So using observed frequency as a measure of probability is the likelihood estimates, and it has the issue of overfitting.